The conveyor belt hummed to a stop, and my suitcase was nowhere in sight. Panic surged through me as I scanned the empty carousel at JFK Airport, realizing I'd just flown across the country for a fresh start, only to lose everything I owned in one careless moment. Then amid the crowd, a woman with short pixie-cut hair bent down to grab a bag that looked suspiciously like mine, and when our eyes met, the world tilted, because she wasn't just any stranger. She was Madeline, the ghost from my past I'd sworn to forget. Madeline's heart raced as she clutched the handle of the wrong suitcase, her fingers trembling not from the mix-up but from the shock of recognition. How could it be her? Madeline, the girl who'd shattered her world back in college, standing there in leather jacket and red top, looking every bit as defiant and beautiful as the day she'd walked away. "This yours?" Madeline asked, her voice steady but her eyes betraying a flicker of unease, handing over the bag without waiting for an answer. I nodded, words caught in my throat, as memories flooded back unbidden. We'd been inseparable once, two young women navigating the chaos of NYU, sharing late-night confessions and stolen glances that hinted at something deeper. But society had its claws in us, my conservative family back in Texas preaching about proper paths, and Madeline's own internal battles with her identity. I'd pushed her away, terrified of what it meant, and now here she was in New York again, forcing me to confront the life I'd tried to rebuild without her. Madeline watched as Madeline fumbled with the zipper, her mind whirling. Why did fate have to throw this curveball now, when she'd finally landed a stable job in graphic design, far from the drama of their shared history? She remembered the nights they'd spent arguing in whispers, Madeline's fear of coming out clashing with Madeline's growing certainty about her sexuality. "You can't keep hiding," Madeline had pleaded once. But Madeline had chosen safety over truth, leaving Madeline heartbroken and alone. Yet seeing her now, vulnerable and lost, stirred something protective in Madeline's chest. "Long time no see," I managed, forcing a smile that felt like glass. The airport buzzed around us. Families reuniting, business travelers rushing. But in that moment, it was just us, two women bound by a past neither had fully escaped. I thought about my move to New York, escaping the suffocating expectations of my parents who still dreamed of me marrying some nice guy from church. Losing the luggage felt symbolic, like shedding the old me, but encountering Madeline? That was a sign I wasn't ready for. Madeline hesitated, then gestured toward the exit. "Need a ride? My car's in short-term parking." It was an impulse, born from the unresolved ache she'd carried for years. Part of her screamed to walk away, to protect the fragile peace she'd built after therapy and self-acceptance groups. But another part, the one that still whispered Madeline's name in quiet moments, couldn't let her struggle alone. What harm could one ride do? Or was this the beginning of another downfall? I agreed against my better judgment, as we walked side by side through the terminal. The air was thick with unspoken words, and I could feel the weight of my family's judgments pressing down. "What are you doing in New York?" I asked, trying to sound casual, but my voice cracked. Madeline glanced at me, her brown eyes searching mine. "Living my life, finally." "You." Her tone held an edge, a reminder of the betrayal I'd inflicted when I denied our connection to save face. As we drove through the city streets, the skyline blurring past, Madeline's thoughts raced. She'd come out to her friends, built a network in the LGBTQ community, but the scar from Madeline remained. Why did seeing her stir up this turmoil? Was it love lingering, or just unfinished business? She gripped the steering wheel tighter, deciding to test the waters. Still playing it straight for the folks back home? The question hung heavy, laced with accusation. I winced, staring out the window at the passing lights. The truth was, I'd tried dating men, forcing myself into the mold my parents approved of, but it never felt right. The emptiness had driven me here, to start over, but I hadn't admitted it to anyone, not even myself fully. "Things change," I muttered, but Madeline's laugh was bitter. "Do they? Or do you just run when it gets real?" Her words cut deep, echoing the arguments that had ended us. We arrived at my new apartment in Brooklyn, a cramped walk-up I'd rented sight unseen. Madeline helped carry the suitcase up the stairs, her presence a mix of comfort and chaos. As she set it down, our hands brushed and electricity sparked just like before. "Thanks," I said softly, meeting her gaze. She nodded but didn't leave immediately. "Madeline, why did you come here?" Really? The question pierced my defenses, forcing me to confront the pull I'd felt toward her all those years ago. Madeline lingered in the doorway, her heart pounding. Part of her wanted to demand answers, to make Madeline face the pain she'd caused. But vulnerability crept in. What if this was a chance for closure? Or worse, for rekindling something doomed? She thought of her own journey, the therapy sessions where she'd unpacked the rejection, the pride parades where she'd found strength. Yet here with Madeline, doubt crept back. I invited her in for coffee, stalling the inevitable goodbye. As we sat on the bare floor, furniture not yet arrived, the conversation turned raw. I was scared, I admitted, tears welling. My parents. They would have disowned me. Madeline's expression softened, but her voice was firm. And what about me? You left me to deal with it alone. The accusation hung, a chasm between us, but in that moment I realized the cost of my choices, the loneliness that had defined my life since. Madeline listened, her resolve cracking. She'd built walls, but Madeline's confession chipped at them. Was forgiveness possible? Or was this just another cycle of hurt? As the night deepened, they talked, unraveling threads of regret and longing, unaware that this reunion would ignite conflicts far beyond their control. The next morning, sunlight filtered through the thin curtains, but the tension from last night lingered like a shadow. I woke to find Madeline gone, a note on the counter. We need to talk more. Coffee at 10 a.m. My stomach twisted, part excitement, part dread. Had I really opened that door again, inviting back the woman who'd made me question everything my family held sacred? Madeline sat in the corner cafe, stirring her latte absent-mindedly, her mind a whirlwind. Why had she left the note? Self-preservation screamed to cut ties, but curiosity, and that damn spark, pulled her back. She remembered the first time they'd kissed, hidden in a dorm room, the thrill mixed with terror. Now years later she was out and proud, but Madeline? Still trapped in denial, it seemed. Could she handle pulling her out, or would it drag them both down? I arrived, heart hammering, spotting her across the room. She looked composed, but I knew better. The slight furrow in her brow betrayed inner conflict. About last night. I started, sliding into the seat. Madeline cut me off gently. Let's not pretend. You hurt me, Madeline. Badly. Her words were a punch, forcing me to relive the day I told her it was just a phase, echoing my mother's dismissive lectures on deviant lifestyles. As we talked, layers peeled away. Madeline shared her life post-breakup. The support groups, the first Pride event where she'd felt truly seen, the job that celebrated her creativity without judgment. I envied her freedom, contrasting it with my own stifled existence. Office jobs in Texas where I hid my true self, dates with men that left me hollow. I want that, I confessed, voice breaking. But my family, they'd never understand. Madeline's eyes hardened. That's the excuse you always used. What about you? What do you want? The question echoed in my mind, stirring a storm of doubt. Did I deserve happiness if it meant betraying my roots? My parents' voices rang in my head. Bible verses wielded like weapons, warnings about eternal damnation. Yet sitting with Madeline, feeling the pull, I wondered if the real sin was denying love. The conversation escalated when Madeline's phone buzzed. A text from her current circle, inviting her to a queer art show. Come with me, she suggested impulsively. I hesitated, visions of judgment flashing. What if someone saw? But her challenge lingered. Or are you still hiding? Against the fear I nodded, stepping into unknown territory. At the gallery, vibrant paintings surrounded us, depictions of love in all forms. Madeline mingled effortlessly, introducing me as an old friend. But the label stung. I watched her laugh with others, jealousy gnawing. Had she moved on completely? A woman approached, flirting openly with Madeline, and my chest tightened. Was this the life I'd forfeited? Madeline felt Madeline's gaze, a mix of longing and resentment bubbling inside her. Why bring her here if it only reopened wounds? She excused herself from the flirtation, pulling Madeline aside. What's wrong? Madeline's response was raw. Seeing you like this. It hurts. I could have been part of it. Madeline sighed, torn between empathy and anger. You chose not to. Now what? As the evening wore on, confessions spilled. I admitted the suppressed feelings, the therapy I'd started in secret. Madeline shared her own scars. The depression after our split, the family estrangement when she'd come out. Her parents, liberal on the surface, had subtly withdrawn, leaving her to question if love was conditional everywhere. Walking home, rain began to fall, mirroring our turmoil. "I never stopped thinking about you," I whispered. Madeline stopped, raindrops on her lashes. "Me neither. But we can't ignore the damage." Her words hung, a precarious bridge between past and possibility. Yet in that vulnerability, a fragile hope emerged. Days blurred into a tentative reconnection. We met for walks in Central Park, discussions turning to dreams deferred. Madeline pushed me to confront my fears, suggesting I attend a support meeting. "It's time to choose yourself," she urged. But doubt plagued me. What if embracing this meant losing my family forever? Madeline wrestled with her own ethics. Was pursuing this fair? Knowing Madeline's baggage? Friends warned her. "She's not ready. You'll get hurt again." But the chemistry was undeniable, pulling her despite the risks. Then came the call from my mother, her voice cheerful yet probing. "When are you coming home, dear? We miss you." Guilt flooded me. How could I tell her about Madeline? The lie slipped out. "Just busy with work." Hanging up, shame burned. Was I doomed to repeat mistakes? Madeline noticed my withdrawal, confronting me over dinner. "You're pulling away. Why?" Tears flowed as I explained the call, the internal war. "I love you," I blurted, the words escaping unbidden. Madeline froze, her heart soaring and sinking. "Do you? Or is this just escape?" The admission hung, charging the air with possibility and peril. As we navigated this minefield, external pressures mounted. Whispers from Madeline's community questioning my commitment, my own anxiety amplifying every doubt. Yet in quiet moments the connection felt right, a beacon amid the storm. Weeks passed, and the fragile bond between us strengthened, but cracks appeared under societal weight. I attended my first LGBTQ support group with Madeline, her hand in mine a lifeline amid strangers' stories of rejection and resilience. Listening, I saw my fears reflected. Families torn, lives rebuilt. But when it was my turn to share, words failed. The ingrained shame silenced me. Madeline encouraged gently afterward. "It's okay to take time. But hiding forever? That's no life." Her words resonated, yet stirred resentment. Easy for her. She'd faced the fire and emerged stronger. Me? I teetered on the edge, weighing love against legacy. Tension peaked when Madeline invited me to her family's annual gathering in upstate New York. "They know about me now," she said. "It could be a step for you." Panic surged. Meeting them meant acknowledging us publicly. What if it backfired? But refusing felt like betrayal, so I agreed, heart pounding. The drive north was silent, my mind racing with scenarios. Madeline's parents had evolved, she claimed, but doubt nagged. Arriving at the cozy cabin, greetings were warm. Yet I sensed undercurrents, subtle glances, polite questions probing my friendship with their daughter. During dinner, conversation turned personal. Madeline's mother asked about my family, and I skirted the truth, mentioning traditional values. Madeline shot me a look, frustration evident. Later, alone, she confronted. "You acted like we're just pals. It hurts." Guilt twisted. Had I diminished her to protect myself? Madeline lay awake that night, questioning her choices. Why invest in someone still half in? Memories of past rejections fueled her resolve to demand more. "I can't be your secret," she told me the next morning, voice steady but eyes pained. The argument escalated on the drive back, words flying like daggers. "You think it's easy for me?" I shouted. "My parents would cut me off," Madeline countered. "And what about us? Am I worth the risk?" The question pierced, forcing a reckoning. Was love enough to upend everything? Back in the city, distance grew. Madeline threw herself into work, designing campaigns for queer rights, channeling hurt into purpose. I, meanwhile, spiraled inwardly, debating a call home. Finally, I dialed my sister, testing waters. What if I liked women? Her response chilled. Mom and Dad would freak. Don't be stupid. The revelation crushed, amplifying isolation. Madeline's absence ached, prompting a desperate text. I miss you. Let's talk. She agreed, but warily, meeting at a neutral cafe. I need commitment, she stated. No more hiding. I nodded, resolve hardening. I'll try. But words were cheap. actions loomed. That night, I drafted an email to my parents, fingers hovering over send. The potential fallout terrified: disinheritance, exile from the only world I'd known. Madeline, sensing my turmoil, offered support. Whatever happens, you're not alone. Her empathy thawed my fears but introduced new ones. What if I dragged her into my mess? Conflict arose when a colleague of Madeline's, aware of our history, warned her privately. She's not out, it'll end badly. Madeline defended me, but seeds of doubt sprouted. Was this love or a toxic cycle? Then betrayal struck indirectly. My ex-boyfriend from Texas, hearing of my move, messaged manipulatively. Heard you're confused. Come home, we'll fix it. I deleted it, but the intrusion rattled, reminding me of societal norms pushing conformity. Sharing with Madeline, she reacted fiercely. See? That's the world we fight. Her passion inspired yet overwhelmed. In a moment of weakness, I confided in a mutual friend from college, seeking advice. Unbeknownst, the friend gossiped, twisting words to portray me as indecisive. Word reached Madeline, igniting fury. You talk behind my back? She accused. I was scared. I pleaded. The fight exposed raw vulnerabilities, her trust issues, my indecision. Reconciliation came slowly, through tearful apologies, but scars lingered. As we mended, external pressures intensified. Madeline's activism drew attention. A local news piece featured her, outing our budding relationship subtly. Panic hit. I wasn't ready for public scrutiny. My parents called unexpectedly, voice laced with concern. We saw something online. Is it true? Denial tempted, but Madeline's influence urged truth. Yes, I admitted shakily. Silence followed, then anger. This is a phase. Come home now. The ultimatum shattered me. Madeline held me as I sobbed, her own tears falling. You have to choose. The weight crushed, family or self. In that crucible, I realized the cost of authenticity. Days of agony ensued, decisions weighing like anchors. Madeline stood by, but her patience waned. I love you, but I can't wait forever. Her words echoed, pushing toward a precipice. Finally, I chose. A letter to my parents explaining my truth. Sending it felt like freefall, liberation mixed with loss. The response from my parents arrived swiftly. A scathing email disowning me, laced with religious condemnation. You've chosen sin over family, it read. Devastation hit like a wave, leaving me numb. Madeline found me curled on the floor, phone clutched, and wrapped me in her arms. I'm here, she whispered, but her voice cracked, revealing her own fears. Madeline's heart ached for Madeline, yet resentment simmered. Why did her love come with such baggage? She'd paid her dues, estrangement from relatives who couldn't accept her. Now, supporting Madeline meant reliving that pain. Was it worth it? In the aftermath, I withdrew, questioning every choice. Had coming out been a mistake? Madeline pushed gently. This is freedom's price. But freedom felt lonely, void of familial anchors. Friends from the support group reached out, sharing similar stories, offering solace amid the void. Madeline organized a small gathering with her queer network, hoping to buoy Madeline's spirits. Laughter filled the room, stories of triumph over adversity. Yet I felt like an outsider, my fresh wounds contrasting their healed scars. A comment stung. You'll get through, just don't drag her down. Directed at me, it amplified guilt. Confronting Madeline later. Do they think I'm a burden? She sighed. They're protective. I've been hurt before. The admission revealed layers, her past relationships marred by similar indecision. Trust frayed further. Moral dilemmas mounted. Should I reach out to my parents begging forgiveness? Or stand firm, embracing identity? Madeline advocated the latter. Compromising yourself isn't love. But her stance felt rigid, ignoring my grief. A turning point came via unexpected ally. Madeline's estranged aunt, who contacted her after seeing the news piece. I'm proud of you, the message read, offering reconciliation. Madeline shared tearfully, hope flickering. It inspired me to try again with my family, but Madeline cautioned, don't sacrifice your truth. The attempt backfired. A phone call ended in shouts, my father declaring me lost. Heartbroken, I lashed out at Madeline. You pushed me into this. She recoiled, hurt flashing. I supported you. Don't blame me for their bigotry. The rift deepened, days of cold silence. Madeline questioned the relationship's viability. Was love enough against such odds? Friends advised space, but separation terrified. Reconciliation sparked during a late-night confrontation. I can't lose you too, I admitted. Madeline softened. Then fight for us. We vowed to navigate together, but challenges persisted. Societal backlash emerged when Madeline's workplace faced complaints from conservative clients over her activism. Tone it down, her boss suggested. Madeline refused, risking her job. This is who I am. Her defiance inspired me, yet heightened fears. What if my presence exacerbated it? Internal conflicts raged. I volunteered at a pride event with her, stepping into visibility. Adrenaline surged as we marched, but a heckler's slur triggered panic. Madeline shielded me, her strength a bomb, but doubt lingered. Was I ready? Betrayal struck from within when a friend from my past leaked our story to a gossip blog, framing it as scandal. Comments poured in, supportive and vile. My identity, once private, now public fodder. Madeline raged. Who did this? Suspicion fell on my ex, but proof lacked. The exposure forced growth. I penned a response post, owning my truth. Madeline beamed. That's my girl. Yet the toll mounted. Sleepless nights, anxiety attacks. Madeline confessed her own strains. I'm scared too. Vulnerability bonded us but highlighted sacrifices. Her career jeopardy, my family loss. A climactic decision loomed when my parents demanded a meeting. To save me, Madeline urged caution. Don't go alone. I agreed, bringing her as support, a bold statement. The encounter was explosive. Accusations flew. She's corrupted you. My defense. No, she's shown me love. Madeline stood firm, articulating our bond's validity. But rejection ensued. They left, doors slammed metaphorically. In the wake, awakening dawned. The pain clarified priorities, self-acceptance over approval. Madeline and I grew closer, forging resilience. But twists remained. Madeline received a job offer in San Francisco, promising stability but relocation. Come with me, she asked. The choice. Uproot again or part ways. Debate ensued, weighing pros and cons. New start for us, she argued. I hesitated, ties to New York tenuous yet familiar. Ultimately, I chose yes, embracing change. Packing symbolized shedding old skins, but uncertainties loomed. The move to San Francisco marked a new chapter, but the ghosts of old conflicts trailed us like shadows. Settling into a cozy apartment overlooking the bay, I felt a mix of exhilaration and unease. Madeline thrived in her new role, leading diversity initiatives, while I sought employment, my resume shadowed by the public coming out drama. We'll make it work, she assured, but her optimism sometimes felt forced. Madeline's thoughts churned beneath the surface. The relocation was her escape too, from New York's reminders of past hurts. Yet watching Madeline adapt, she wondered if the sacrifices balanced. Her family's tentative reconciliation offered hope, but Madeline's total estrangement weighed heavily. Early tensions arose over mundane issues, amplified by unresolved emotions. A disagreement about finances escalated. You're spending like we're stable. I snapped, anxiety fueling. Madeline retorted. I'm building our future. The fight exposed fears, mine of dependency, hers of resentment. Reconciliation came through dialogue, a habit honed from crises. We're in this together, I reminded. Madeline nodded, pulling me close. In those moments, love's depth shone, but societal pressures persisted. Joining local communities helped. We attended events, building networks. Yet backlash followed. A conservative group's protest at Madeline's workplace, citing agenda pushing. She stood resolute, but the stress showed, late nights, withdrawn moods. I supported but internally battled guilt. Was I the catalyst? Therapy resumed, unpacking layers. You chose this path, the counselor noted. True, but the cost stung. A shocking twist arrived via email. My sister, breaking ranks, reached out secretly. I support you. Don't tell mom and dad. Hope flickered, a crack in the monolith. Sharing with Madeline, she cautioned. Be careful, it could be a trap. The clandestine meetings began, video calls filled with tears and truths. My sister confessed her own doubts about family dogma. You're brave, she said. Empowerment surged, but secrecy echoed past hidings. Madeline grew uneasy. Hiding again? From who? The irony bit. Our relationship demanded openness, yet family ties pulled toward discretion. Conflict peaked when my parents discovered the contact, pressuring my sister to cut ties. She resisted initially but caved, apologizing profusely. Betrayal stung anew, reinforcing isolation. Madeline held me through the grief. Family isn't blood, it's choice. Her words resonated, shifting perspectives. We deepened commitments, discussing futures, marriage perhaps in a state welcoming such unions. But moral quandaries lingered. Was disowning them justified, or should I persist? Madeline advocated boundaries. Protect your peace. Wise yet heart-wrenching. Awakening culminated in a public speech at a rally. Madeline inviting me on stage. Trembling, I shared my story: loss, love, resilience. Applause roared, validation washing over. Post-event, Madeline proposed informally. Let's build this life. No more half measures. Acceptance felt right, a culmination of trials. Yet peace was fragile. A final confrontation arose when my father emailed, pleading reconciliation on his terms, denounced the lifestyle. Rejection was swift. This is me, accept or not. The choice liberated but scarred. As we navigated onward, reflections abounded, the prices paid, lessons learned. In the end, love endured, tempered by fire. But one question lingers. Was sacrificing family for personal truth the right path, or a necessary evil that society forces upon us?